It sounds like a Netflix script, but it's not fiction. It's real, painful, and shamefully African. The son of the world's longest serving president is also his father's vice president. His name, Theodore Obiang Man, the first vice president of Equatorial Guinea. And if his name doesn't ring a bell, maybe this one. He owns a mansion in Paris worth 100 million pounds, roughly another 15 million US dollars. Not talking about 100 million naira, euros. Now, before we get into the outreach, let's ask the most basic question. How does a public official in one of the poorest countries in Africa afford that? You don't need a PhD to answer. The French government recently confiscated the mansion, claiming it was not diplomatic property, as Equatorial Guinea insisted, but a personal asset acquired through corruption. The Obiang family tried to fight back, even dragging France to the International Criminal Court, arguing the mansion was for diplomatic use. But France wasn't buying it. Not this time. And maybe we shouldn't either. Here is where it gets complicated and very disturbing. This isn't even the first time France and Obiang have clashed over questionable wealth. Back in 2021, France's High Court upheld lower court rulings convicting Obiang for embezzlement and money laundering. He had moved public funds from Equatorial Guinea straight into his European lifestyle. Assets worth over 450 million pounds were seized. Luxury cars, rare Michael Jackson's memorabilia, and more, just sitting in Paris. But it's not just France. The United States and Switzerland governments have also confiscated assets from Obiang's corrupt. Altogether, they have frozen over 237 million pounds in stolen wealth. That's money that should be building hospitals, schools, roads, and provide basic things that many in Equatorial Guinea can only dream about. But here's the strategy. Despite all the convictions and seizures, the Obiang family still runs the country. Can you imagine? So even the recovered funds are just sitting in Western bank accounts. Why? Because returning them would mean sending the money back to the same corrupt people who stole it in the first place. Equatorial Guinea has a population of just under 2 million and produces over 50,000 barrels of crude oil per day. Theoretically, this tiny nation should be one of the richest per capita, but over 70% of its citizens live in extreme poverty. Many don't have access to clean water, basic healthcare, or even the promise. There is zero transparency in the oil industry. All roads lead to President and his son, and all roads out carry wealth while the people suffer, the elite flourish. My friends, not just a Guinea problem. Some might be tempted to dismiss this as just another Equatorial Guinea scandal, but let's not kid ourselves. This is a continental pattern. In Cameroon, Paul Biya has been in power since 1982, and his son is now kingpin the timber export business, earning millions while ordinary Cameroonians battle hunger and power outages. In Libya, the United States once froze over $30 billion of government assets. Belgium lifted a seizure of 15 billion pounds this year. And countries like Ivory Coast, Nigeria, DRC, Liberia, and Zimbabwe have all had national funds frozen due to corruption, international sanctions. So here is a $1 million, or should I say billion euro question. How did all that African money get there in the first place? Why is it that when African leaders steal, they don't invest it in Africa? Why don't they stash their wealth in Addis Ababa, Accra, or Nairobi? Why is it always Paris, Geneva, US, or Miami? And more important, why do Western governments only act after the money has landed? You let a man buy £100 million mansion, then years later, you claim it's from a corrupt source. That's like letting someone build a house on 10 years, and then suddenly you say, you know what, that's illegal. The hypocrisy is as loud as the corruption. It's just like these politicians don't even live in their own countries. Their children are educated abroad. Their homes are in Beverly Hills and their hospital in London. Meanwhile, back home, people are drinking from muddy streams, side by side. There are no drugs in the clinics, no lights in the classrooms, no dignity in the public spaces. Equatorial Guinea is a country hijacked. The state is run like a family business. The ruling elite have become aliens in their own land, uninterested in development and allergic to transparency. The gap between the rich and the poor is not just wide, it's obscene. A few swim in oil wealth, while the rest drown in forgotten promises. And yes, corruption exists everywhere. even in the West. But no Western politician would even ever transfer their stolen funds to Nigeria or Ghana. So why are our own leaders so obsessed with investing stolen money? That is a debt colonial self-hate. That's how deep the rot goes. So what now, my friends? We are caught in a painful loop. On one side, you have African leaders looting their countries blind. On the other side, Western nations pretending to be the moral police after they have cashed in on those same loots, selling luxury homes, cars, and offshore services. Who is the bigger thief here? The man who steals or the one who launders? But here is a kicker. If the money had never left Africa, this wouldn't even be a conversation. So maybe it's time we stopped looking only at the corrupt politician and started questioning the global financial systems that. Maybe it's time we demanded real accountability, not just flashy sieges that ended up with frozen bank accounts and no justice for the people. If you care about Africa, this story should anger you. But anger alone isn't enough. We need to start asking better questions, demanding better systems, and holding our leaders accountable before they become billionaires. My friend, I'm David, and this has been a hard truth on David 360. If you agree, or even if you disagree, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Let's stop normalizing this madness. Subscribe if you haven't, and hit that bell so you never miss these kinds of real conversations. Until next time, God bless us all. Keep spreading love and keep spreading peace. This is David 360.